Hey, what's up? My name is Tyson Brown and I want to welcome you to Tyson's Fitness Tips podcast. This is Australia's top health and fitness podcast to help you lose weight, look good with your shirt off, feel confident in your body, and finally achieve the goals you want with your health and fitness. So 5 days a week, I'm going to be giving you top information from myself and also from leading experts in the field so you know everything you need to do to get in the best shape of your life. From nutrition to mindset to workout, everything is covered in this podcast and you need to go nowhere else. So like I said, it's going to be 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, in your ears with quick actionable segments that you can implement straight away, because the most important thing is that you can put these things into play. Also, if you listen all the way to the end of the episode, you're going to get 2 special gifts that you can download upon listening to it. So make sure you listen all the way to the end to get those free gifts, okay? So let's get into the episode. Good morning. This is the earliest I've ever done a podcast. It is 4:28 in the morning and I'm walking on the way to work, and I was like, you know what? This is actually a really good time for me to record my podcast because there's no one around, there's no traffic, I don't have to sit down, I can actually walk around and do this. And I was like, fuck yeah, time for me to give it a go. So, like I said, it is nice and early in the morning and I am doing my cardio. Just walking, which is classed as cardio, and there's a little cat near me. Hello, kitty. Anyways, so I was trying to think. Yesterday I talked to you about fast weight loss versus slow weight loss, and it really depends on what you want. Like, there is no right or wrong answer. If you want to go faster, great. If you want to go slower, great. But you've got to ask, what are you willing to sacrifice? And after talking about this yesterday afternoon, I was thinking, I'm like, it is the month of April and my birthday is coming up in 2 weeks and Easter is up next weekend, and I'm going to have Easter with my girlfriend and her family. And what else have I got up? There is another social event coming up this weekend, and I was like, oh my God, for the next couple of weeks, it's going to seem like it's really hectic. And I was like, do I really want to try my aggressive fat loss right now? And the answer is no, I've got to take it slower. And I was like, okay, well, I've got to be okay with this lower weight loss approach. But the biggest thing I thought about was, you know what, when it comes to trying to lose fat, like if you've tried to lose fat before and you've failed, and you keep going back and you keep binging, you keep progressing and you keep fucking up, then you're probably, what I was thinking of, like, you probably need to stop dieting if you can't stick to it. Like for me, I was like, fuck, am I going to be able to stick to it over these times? No. But am I going to binge? No. Like, compared to where I was at the start of the year when I would, like, I know these events are going to come up, I would fucking go nuts. I would binge on everything. But now, I know I'm not going to do that. And it's because I've been developing better relationships with my food. I've been, not restricting myself from food, not feeling guilty when I indulge and have a little bit of this or have a little bit of that. And it's just like, okay, it's like, it is what it is. If you're going to have something, you need to just accept it. You can't beat yourself up and fucking hate yourself for it, because that is building a bad mentality around it. And if you're always doing that, what's going to happen is that you're going to have negative associations with food, and it's going to be really fucking hard for you to lose weight. And so this is why I wanted to think about this morning, because I'm like, okay, you know what? For the month of April, I'm just going to maintain my weight. I've lost a couple of kilos. I'm around the 82 mark. So that's 4 kilos down. So I'm going to sit there and I'm going to rest for the rest. I'm going to maintain my weight for April, and then I'm going to get back to it in May. And I'm okay with that. Like, I'm like, you know what? There is no race. I'm not in a rush. I can take a little bit more time to do it. And during that time of maintenance, which is what I want to talk to you about, is like, if you struggle to lose weight and because you can't stop eating and you have this unhealthy relationship with food, you need to learn to stay at maintenance with your weight. Like we talked about yesterday, you need to learn to develop those good habits, because if you can learn how to maintain healthy weight loss habits now, if you can't diet and you start to learn those things, it's gonna make dieting in the future easier. It's gonna be building healthier relationships around food. It's gonna be feeling more comfortable about having food in your house and not feeling like you're gonna eat the whole thing. It's gonna help when you go out with friends and family to not consume the whole fucking everything and not feel like you hate yourself, not feel like you've ruined everything. Because we shouldn't be in this phase. We shouldn't be that feeling of this guilt of like, oh, I fucked up everything. I can't believe I've bloated out my diet. It's like, you didn't. You didn't. And you think when you restrict certain foods, you're like, oh, I can't have that. I can't have that. Oh my God. And then you start freaking out. And then what do? You go down to the shops and you buy a whole tub of ice cream and you smash it in one go. And so what you should be doing is, if you're struggling with your weight loss and you're constantly finding yourself binging, you should stop dieting. You should stop dieting right now, and you should go into a quote-unquote maintenance phase, and you can keep your maintenance calories. This means you're maintaining your weight. This doesn't mean you binge eat and fucking go crazy with whatever you want. No. This means that you simply go, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work on maintaining my weight. I'm gonna work on building healthy relationships around food. That means getting used to keeping certain foods in your house that you aren't gonna eat every day. And this is what I've actually been doing with peanut butter at the moment, because peanut butter was the devil for me. I'm like, nah, if I have peanut butter, I am absolutely fucked. I'm gonna eat the whole goddamn jar. But guess what? Since I'm choosing the rest of the month of April to maintain, I'm keeping peanut butter in my house, and I'm having about 2 teaspoons a day. And then I'm stopping. And I'm gonna do the same thing tomorrow. And I'm gonna do the same thing tomorrow. Because what you're doing is you are not demonizing the food, which is the most important thing. But number 2, you are also normalizing that food, because that's gonna wear off eventually. Like, you have novelty on certain food, you're like, oh my God, every time I go out, I have to have this food, it's so good. Or every time I bring chocolate in the house, I just eat the whole goddamn block. It's like, okay, you're not gonna do that every single day for the rest of your life, I can guarantee it. So what you can do is, if you're like, you know what, I know I'm gonna eat a block of chocolate, I'm gonna bring 4 blocks of chocolate in the house, or I'm gonna buy 1 block of chocolate every day. And eventually what's gonna happen is you're gonna stop eating that block of chocolate, because now it's normal. Now you've got it in the house and it's gonna sit there, and you're going to eventually normalize around that food. You're not gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna have the block of chocolate again. Oh, I'm gonna have the, like, you are not gonna do that for 14 days in a row, for 10 days in a row. Like, the novelty is gonna wear off, and then it's going to be quote unquote normalized. And then all of a sudden you're gonna be like, wow, I can actually keep food in the house and not binge on it. And so if you are struggling with just trying to lose weight, stop trying to focus on losing weight and focus on trying to maintain what you've got, and then go from there. And then after you've gotten to a maintenance phase, after you've gotten more comfortable with food, and when you realize that, okay, maybe now's the time for me to diet, that would be a better opportunity for you. And this is just thoughts that are coming up in my head, because I know people who just say, I can't diet at the moment, it's too fucking hard, like it's just too stressful. It's like, that's cool, you don't have to, don't stress about it. So I just want you to take some consideration. I just want you to think about, where are you in your life and what are you willing to do? Like, if you're willing to do an aggressive diet, that's awesome. If you've got the willpower, if you've got the, what's the word I'm trying to think of? The next, 2 to 3 months, like all set up, so you're like, yes, perfect time for me to do it, then absolutely go for it. That'll be fucking awesome. And if you're like, you know what, I want to diet and I want to do it slow and steady, also great. But if you're like, oh man, I've really been trying to diet for the last, let's say, year. I've been trying to diet for the last year, and I just yo-yo up and down and drop and binge and drop it. It's like, okay, well for you, the best thing to do would probably be to stop trying to diet and starting to learn to have a better relationship with foods and have a maintenance. Because if you can do that, and you can learn to quote unquote maintain your weight and make sure that you're not going to gain any more and build a better relationship around food, that's going to help you in the long run. Sure, you might not lose weight this year. You might be able to lose weight next year though, and keep it off, instead of going up and down and hating yourself and binging and being uncomfortable around food. And it's going to be tough. Like, it's going to be tough for you to do this, but I can guarantee if you do this, it's going to be so much more beneficial in the long run, because you're building those healthy habits, you're building good relationships around food. You're not hating yourself, you're not developing this mental talk in your head of like, oh my God, I'm such a failure, I can never do anything, because that's just going to be really, really messing up with your mental health. So take some time to think about it. What are you willing to do at the moment? Are you willing to aggressive diet? Are you willing to diet slowly? Or are you someone who's just like, you know what? At this point in my life, I just can't diet strict. And I'm gonna have to take my foot off the pedal, and I'm going to have to just go, you know what? I'm gonna build up a healthy relationship with food. And then from there, once you start building up those healthy relationships, once you start learning about those habits, then you can start to try and diet again. But don't be in a rush. You got plenty of time. You want to be able to lose weight and keep it off. Don't forget that. So that was my nice and early morning rant. I hope it was helpful. If you're struggling with your diet or if you've got questions about this, you can send an Instagram DM to @Tyson the Trainer with 2 R's. I will always reply. I'm always happy to help because I want to make you become successful, not with some fucking fad bullshit, but actually losing weight and keeping it off for the long run. It is cold. It is early in the morning here, but I'm glad I've got this podcast done. And I'm going to continue on with my day. So I'll speak to you next time. Hey, thanks for listening to the podcast. I really appreciate it. So now you've listened all the way to the end. That means you get some free goodies. So what you can do is you've got 2 different options, or you can take them both. I've got an intermittent fasting cheat sheet and a high protein 20 recipe meal guide designed specifically for you in your situation. These meal plans and this intermittent fasting guide is designed to help you burn stubborn belly fat and get in the best shape of your life. So all you have to do is go to the show notes, click on the download link, and they'll get sent straight to your email address. It's as simple as that. They're completely free. They're gonna help you transform your body. So go to the show notes now and download your free guides, and I'll speak to you in the next episode.